everybody, I want to welcome you today on my DIY video on how to repair the Lexus HS250H. Today we're going to talk about replacing the license plate lights. On my vehicle, it's now 13 years old and it's had a lot of night driving. The bulbs are really dim and they're pretty close to probably not being legal. And when incandescent bulbs get that dim, they're pretty much near the end of their useful life. So we're gonna replace them. I'm gonna show you the parts, tooling, what you need to do. It's a really easy job. It's just there's not a lot of information on the internet, so I wanted to make it easier for you once your time comes. So let's go to the tools. So for tools, we're gonna need a panel horn. This is what this is called. Some people call it a fender screwdriver, fender wrench. There's all sorts of names for it. I got this a long time ago, sometime in the 90s, for $8 at a Napa Auto Parts. I'm sure it's probably more than that right now. It's just a screwdriver with 2 notches cut into it, and it's really important to get this, and I'll explain it later. For parts, we're going to need these. I have these LED replacements, but the actual bulbs to replace them is a 168. Some vehicles may have a 194, I've been told. My vehicle had 168s in it, and so I bought these Zevos. They're really nice, really bright. I put them in my fog lights too. For exterior bulbs, these are the way to go. My local auto parts store, these were about $22 and a little bit of change and a flashlight. And when we get inside, I'll show you what to do. So let's go grab our tools, our panel horn, and we'll get inside and I'll show you what you have to do. Unlike the Toyota Camry and all the other Toyota cars, these bulbs are not replaceable from the exterior. They are actually internal replacement bulb. And I'm going to show you how to do this. For starters, we have to remove this liner. And just like my other videos, if you haven't seen me on replacing trunk struts, the liners on this vehicle are made out of like a plastic reinforced with cloth. It's really fragile. I know some people think, well, why do you need this tool when you can just take your finger and just pull on this? Well, you do that, you just rip the liner right through, and you'll still leave these plastic retainers. Don't do that. As of the filming of this video, these liners are really hard to find anywhere, wrecking yards or the Lexus dealer. So just whatever you do, preserve this liner. For the purpose of the video, I've taken most of these out, but I'll show you how to do it. It's really hard for me with one hand, but just put the paddle wrench here, do that, and there you go. Just take it and remove it. These here also have to be removed. These are the actual covers where your backup lights and such are. Same thing, just use the paddle wrench and give it a good snug, and has a similar type of connector. We'll back it off, and we can just use our hand and pull it off here. This one doesn't say anything, but the right hand one is labeled right hand. They go only one way, so when you return these to position, please remember to do that. There's 2 of them. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take the rest of this liner off for you. It's a really easy job. You don't need me to show you how to do it. And then I'll come back with the liner removed. Okay, I'm back and the liner's been removed. Here is what the inside of your trunk looks like. The lock mechanism is back here. Right in here is for your, I don't know if you can see it, that is for your backup camera. This is one of your bulbs right here for the license plate light. Just give it a click, a turn. I'm gonna try to do this. And there you go. That's it, right there. Other side is in a similar spot. Right there. Just give it a turn. Bam. There we go. There we go. Now these guys here, one thing to keep in mind is they come on this connector here. Just squeeze it, it'll come off. It's really difficult to do it one hand, so I'm going to do it off camera. and then I'll show you what you do next. One more thing to mention, and I should have done a video for this, but I didn't due to the weather at the time, was you come up here to the outside, see this little switch right here? On mine, the rubber decomposed, and basically the switch was working, but the rubber was so badly decomposed it made usage of this switch really difficult. So that's brand new in my vehicle. I'm going to show you where that is too. This is a switch right here. If you have to replace it, it's just these two, I think it's a 12mm nuts and a connector, and the switch comes out. I'll also put that in a product description so that if you need to do that, you can do that as well for you. And finally, these, when you take these apart, I've already done this once. Be really careful when you remove them from here, because a lot of these older vehicles, the plastic's getting brittle. I don't even know if you can find these bases, because the bulb itself is just a regular license plate bulb. It's nothing special. So let me take that out for you, and I'll do it off camera. Okay, so we got the bulb out. As you can see, it just looks like a regular license plate bulb. See, mine's getting a little black. It's near the end of its life. This is the new Zevo bulb. You notice there's a red dot there. That's the positive side. These are polarized. So when you put this into the socket, turn on your lights and verify they're in the right way. If your lights don't work, you have to rotate this 180 because this is not in the positive side. Unfortunately, these don't tell you which is the positive side or negative side. So you got a 50-50 chance of putting it in correctly. It's really simple. You just push this into the sockets here just like you took it out. I want to give you guys one warning is these, like mine, I've taken them out a couple times here for this video, were really difficult to come out. They were really tight. They've been here since the car was manufactured. Don't use pliers and things like that, because if you break the glass on these, it's really difficult to get the rest of it out. Use your fingers, use a little bit of, some people said a little bit of sandpaper has worked, you know, whatever. That works. Just do whatever you can to avoid breaking these. They will come out. They're just tight because they're originally installed. So I'm going to put these in, and I will get back to you here. Okay, I'm back. And one bulb was put in correctly, the other bulb didn't illuminate right away. Obviously, like I said, they're polarized. I had to rotate it 180. Do this at this point. Don't do this after you put everything back together. Just check, ops check it. Now installing these is a little tricky, and I'll let you why. I'll let you why. The reason is when you install these in the socket, you can see it. It's really difficult. In here, the wire will be on the outward side. They only fit in one way. The notch is smaller and bigger. It's really important when you install them to check that, because if you try to put the wires inboard, they won't fit. Both bulbs, the wires fit outboard, and again, you turn them and give them a quarter turn, and the bulbs will lock in. So I'm going to do that because it's really hard to do that while holding the phone and doing this, and I'll get back to you in the video. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, the wires are this way. So the wire will point up, and you rotate it down to lock it in. The other side, if you can see it, it's really difficult, but there you go. That's the same way. So the wire should be pointing outboard away. That's the correct install. And one final check. We look outside here. Now, you can see they're working. Now, the reason I got the car running still isn't because I'm showing off that I can afford $5 gas. The reason I'm still running the car here is I want to make sure after I install it, they don't bump something out of position. These LEDs in the sockets, when you're putting these license plate bulbs in, it's really easy to just bump them. Unlike other cars, like a Camry, you have to take this whole liner off. So I want to minimize the amount of liner work I'm doing on this because I don't want to damage the liner because it's made of a material that's probably unavailable. So I'm going to put the liner back on, and I'll show you how to put the liner back on. It's real easy, and that'll be pretty much the end of the job. Okay, I just got the liner back in, and I had to, it's really hard to film the camera and install liner at the same time. If you look, there's a bit of a crease right here. The reason is the liner, after being installed, as long as it has, it's got a built-in curve. There is a temptation to just take these top fasteners out and let it hang. Well, guess what happens? You got a big crack right there, and then you got a liner that's not detaching. So just take the extra time and remove the extra fasteners. Oh, another one thing is this fastener, this cover here, sorry, has a line-up pin on it to make installation easier. Just take a look at the back. It only goes in one way. You can't put the wrong way. This one will say RH behind it, so you can't mix them up. But I always keep all my components separate so that I don't mix them up. Now, for installing the liner fasteners, I'm going to show you. It's really quite easy. Here's a fastener, and I'm going to try to do this while holding the camera too. Whoops, a little difficult. Look at this here. All right, here you go. You just put this in and push it in. A lot easier than just trying to pull it out. Now up here, in the past, looks like somebody before me tried to pull the liner through and made a hole. This is what happens if you don't use the tool. Apparently somebody tried to do that and did some damage. Fortunately, the hole isn't like really horrible, but again, there's not really no fix for this liner. So we don't want to just, like I said, pull things without the proper tool. Right here, I'll put this in for you too. So that's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy job. It took me longer to film this video. It's like a 5-minute job to do. I think the hardest problem you're going to have is getting these off if you don't have the proper tool. That's all you need. The proper tool is cheap, $8. I think the dealership charges something ridiculous like $60 to do this job. You can buy a tool and go out to dinner and still be money ahead. So that's my suggestion. Again, happy motoring. Enjoy yourself. In the description, I will leave a part number for the bulbs. I'll try to find this panel horn, a link to it, so you can see what it actually looks like and where to purchase one. And one more thing I want to mention is, in a lot of states, one of the things they do pull you over for are dim license plate lights. So when you replace them before they go out. Replace them like these, like with Lexus in general, and I think all Toyota vehicles, they do a lot of high quality bulbs, and the bulbs tend to get dim before they wear out. I found that out on the headlights. I found that out on the driving lights. So do your check. Inspect your lights once a month. The winter time, like it is now, I'm filming in November. My wife's been driving this car at night. She pretty much uses the headlights all the time. Really good suggestion to check these, and I found these extremely dim, so I replaced them. You can put regular incandescent bulbs in if you want. There's nothing that says you can't. Just use some high quality bulbs. They're about $6 to $8 for a pair. Again, I bought LEDs for $21, $22. A little bit more money. I don't have to go into this liner ever again, and that's why I did it. Okay, happy repairs and happy motoring.